It's the second time we've been out today. We came out this morning and it was glorious. And we went home, had some breakfast, but we've had to come out again because it just gets better. The sky is blue, there's not a cloud to be seen. There's a light breeze, but it's still warm, and we're in September, so in the UK, especially in the north of the UK, we have to make the most of these times because it will soon become grim. Molly, she's enjoying it. After our big early morning walk, Molly's quite reluctant to get out in the afternoon. We tend to have a really long one in the morning, and then I let her sleep on the couch for a couple of hours, and then we go out again in the evening. But even she was eager to come out again, early afternoon. Even she was eager to get out here. And it's gorgeous. There are a lot of people out, but they kind of spread out for once. So we've got this little place to ourselves. Molly's just rolling in the grass all the time. She's having a whale of a time. We're just entering a little woodland now, and I always like this. It only lasts for about 40 or 50 yards, but it's really quaint. It's mixed woodland. Not particularly big trees, all quite stunted, but it gives that little bit of shade when it's a sunny day. It's beautiful. We're entering an area now that's covered in bracken, and I've noticed that the bracken is starting to go brown at the ends. Starting to get the cold nights, are starting to take the toll on it. It's all starting wilting a bit now. It's bending over. It's ready to fall over and die off for the winter. Because it's getting the end of the year. Not as many birds singing as there were. There's still plenty of squirrels knocking about, looking for food for winter. And it's just beautiful to be out here. The sun's at our back, and it really is warm. So pleasant. Sounds like an army helicopter somewhere in the distance. We get lots of Chinooks coming over and pumas. There's a broom here to our left. So that'll be one of the first things out next year. We'll have that beautiful yellow flower. Molly's rolling in the grass yet again. She's absolutely loving this. Lots of berries on the hawthorn. Does that mean it's going to be a hard winter? Blackberries don't seem to have done too well this year. It's very quiet. A light breeze, but very quiet. The odd dog walker. It seems to be all the trend at the moment to buy these blooming whistles for your dog. And the funny thing is, I see lots of people with these dog whistles, and they're always the people who whistle and the dog completely ignores them. It's all right if you've got a whistle and you blow it and your dog is trained to the whistle, but none of these seem to be. They just ignore the owners completely. Waste of a good whistle. The area we're in now is covered in paths, wide paths, and they radiate out from a Castle Folly up there in the distance, probably about a quarter of a mile away, and they radiate out in straight lines like that, and they carry on and carry on right up to the distant roadway. And as well as the paths that you can walk up and down, there are little paths that cross them where people have walked over the years, and then they've been trodden down into a path that everyone uses. And we use this one most days, most mornings. There's some people in the distance there shouting at a dog that's running about like mad. We usually get a lot of deer here as well, so I'm always a bit wary of the dogs, especially in early next year when the young are about. You usually see like two young and an adult knocking about. And some of these dogs can be quite persistent when they chase them. Molly doesn't. Molly ignores them. Molly ignores deer and horses. She just thinks they're big dogs. It completely ignores them. The only danger is that they might trip up over her. You probably won't be able to see it, but there's a bench over there, and that's where we sit whenever we come here. And it's in the sun. It's perfectly facing the sun. And there's no one on it at the moment, and we'll be reaching it in about quarter of an hour, 20 minutes. So I hope nobody's on it, otherwise we may have to pitch them off. Into the shade. It's really cool under here. It's really nice. I mean, it's not a hot day, it's just a pleasant day. But it's still, there's something, it's late summer, but when you get into the shade, it's got that summer coolness when you go into the shade at summer. So it actually feels more summer in the shade than it does in the sun. Coming up to another of those paths in a moment, the ones I told you about radiating out from the castle like spokes on a wheel. You see a couple with a dog, probably going to intercept them perfectly. Here's the other path with the sun coming through the leaves. Lots of people, a big bunch of people walking towards me, so we'll escape this way and hope they don't follow us. So we've just reached that bench that I was talking about in the distance. So we're facing now. Let me just show you. We were walking along the side of those woods down there. It's getting very, very windy. I hope it doesn't affect the recording. And we've walked all the way around through those trees, down this path to the bench. And that's where we are now. And we've just been approached and just met a lovely lady who's a fellow YouTuber who recognised me from the channel. And her name's Tracy Howarth Tomlinson. And she does videos about meditation. So go and have a look at her. Tracy Howarth Tomlinson. I hope you're watching this, Tracy. It was lovely to meet you. So we're going to sit here for the sun is beautiful and warm. The sun is directly in front of us, so it's just playing on my face, and it's the most wonderful sensation because it's not too hot. I've found as I've got older that I don't do heat like I used to. I used to just lie out in the sun all day, but I don't anymore. I find it quite uncomfortable. I've got old skin, I think. Thick, but old. And it's lovely. It's just beautiful. And the breeze. Molly's behind the bench, side of me, in the shade. She won't want to move. We can sit here for about half an hour and Molly won't want to move. Just sit here all afternoon, just lying in the grass, watching the world go by, barking and playing with other dogs as they come past. And it's lovely, and I like seeing it. I love seeing her enjoy herself because they have a brief life, dogs, don't they? We have a long life, they have a brief life, and they have to cram so much in. And that's why we should make life fun for them. Cram as much in as we can. Don't shout at them. Don't hit them. Don't starve them. You need to love them and pet them and feed them well and exercise them. Make them have the best life they can because they're only here briefly. And they love you. Whatever you do to them, they love you. So treat them well. There's the sound of an aeroplane. We get lots and lots of aeroplanes, small ones round here. And that's all we can hear. I can't actually see anybody now. We're on our own. We can see acres and acres of land in front of us, and trees and grass, and ponds and paths, and sky and sun. And there's just us here enjoying it. Fabulous.